Should Mei make the switch to the tank role in Overwatch 2? Overwatch 2 saw a lot of classic heroes reworked to fit into the new 5v5 format, and that includes the Freeze Queen herself, Mei. The damage hero has been a consistent menace throughout her years in Overwatch, but the hero sequel shooter has robbed Mei of one of her most potent abilities. And the only way to bring it back, and to do justice to the Mei mains of old, is to move the classic damage hero into a brand new role in the tank queue. Truth be told, it's not as crazy as you might think. The idea of Mei making the switch to the tank role has actually been quite a popular one among the Overwatch community for years. And to be honest, it's easy to see why. Especially now that Overwatch 2 has kicked one of the tank slots to the curb in favour of 5v5 action, Mei practically plays like an off-tank in a damage hero's overcoat already. Mei's Ice Wall is an incredibly versatile ability that can be used to block off key areas and objectives, and give her teammates the advantage when kicking off engagements, which is the bread and butter of any tank. Her Cryo Freeze gives her sensational longevity on defence, completely negating all damage and healing her up, giving her more time on the objective to ice the opposition. Even her ultimate fits into the tank archetype. Yes, it deals damage over a wide area, but the slow debuff it inflicts on any hero caught up in it gives her massive crowd control potential. An ability that Overwatch 2's devs have already said that they've tried to remove from all heroes apart from tanks. Add all that together, and you have the perfect crowd control tank for the 5v5 era, potentially waiting to be unleashed. All Mei really needs to fill the sizable snowshoes of a tank at this point would be a significant health buff to keep her brawling for longer, and her kit as it stands would do the rest. And even better, with crowd control back on the menu, Mei's Freezability could also make a return, making her Overwatch 2 skill set even more true to her original kit. Being frozen in place by an aggressive Mei was one of the main reasons the Queen of Freeze was such a threat back in the original Overwatch. And Blizzard taking it away in the sequel was actually largely celebrated by a huge portion of the community who found her simply too frustrating to play against. But a switch to the tank role would allow the devs to revisit this crowd control aspect of her original kit. And while devs could turn its power down a little since DPS wouldn't be her specialty anymore, it's only right that Mei can keep giving the cold shoulder to her enemies. So Mei gets to keep her signature skill that made her such an iconic member of Overwatch's roster, and her kit gets to fulfill the role it seems perfect for. What's not to love? Overwatch has always had too many damage heroes, a relic of the since abandoned split of attack and defense heroes, and this has carried over into Overwatch 2 despite almost constant calls from the community to redress the balance. Mei jumping into the tank queue would be a good sign of things to come. Doomfist has already made the same move to great effect in Overwatch 2 as well, so it's not like there isn't precedent for a damage hero thriving in the tank role. Now, obviously, it wouldn't all be plain sailing for the ice-wielding climatologist. There would have to be other changes made. And you could rightfully ask whether Mei's potential switch to the tank queue is entirely necessary. She's in a very good place in the damage pool right now and performed incredibly well in both beta periods. And her similarity to an off-tank in the damage roster actually plays in her favour, giving 5 stacks even more options in their damage dealing core. Mei would also need some fairly big changes to her character model since she's significantly smaller than every other tank as it stands. And massively increasing her character model's size might look a bit odd in game. And of course, Mei was absolutely hated by large parts of the Overwatch community, in no small part thanks to her freezability and the difficulty of playing around it. You could say get good, but it'd be a risk to U-turn on such a popular change. Ultimately though, we reckon it's worth the risk. Reworks are fun, they keep the game interesting, and frankly, Overwatch 2 needs less damage heroes, not more. And given Mei's predisposition for some cold-hearted crowd control, she would make the perfect tank for Overwatch 2's new 5v5 format. Well, that's what we think anyway, but what do you reckon? Should Mei make the switch to the tank role, or would you prefer her to stay frozen in the DPS queue? If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Please drop this video a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the Overwatch 2 content we've got coming up.